What is the cast? We are not talking about what you put on your arm or your leg when you break it. We are talking about the California Science Test. Hello, I am Robin Kamenity. I am your science content specialist for Sequoia Grove Charter Alliance, and today we are going to talk a little bit about the cast. Questions that we will attempt to answer today are: what is the purpose of the test? What is the test like? And how are written responses graded? So, what is this test? Let me tell you what it is not. It is not a complete measure of a student's overall science knowledge. What is it then? It is a way to measure how well our school's science program is working for students. It is not a final and all encompassing measure of a student's ability in science. Instead, it gives just a snapshot of how well a students do in one test towards the end of their high school career. It is not just about knowing a whole bunch of scientific facts. Instead, it assesses application of key science ideas, concepts, and how science and engineering work together. A lot of it is about the application of science. And it also is a cumulative test. It measures how students perform in all areas of science: life science, physical science, and earth and space science. So, what does this test look like? This test is full of different types of questions. You will find about 30 discrete items, and I will give you examples here in just a second. And you will have at least three for performance tasks: one in physical science, which will include chemistry and or physics, one in life science, and one in earth and space science. So let's look at some examples. Okay, so let's talk about or look at some of the different types of questions that you may encounter. The first type is just going to be your standard multiple choice, where you read the passage and then you pick one answer. The second type of question that you will see are multiple checkboxes, where you can see in this question, for example, that it is asking you what three components. So you should look to check three boxes. And for this one, for example, these are the three boxes we will check. The third type of question that you will see is a multiple checkbox question, and you're going to answer that within a table. So here you would read the passage concerning the properties of the stars, and you'll look to see to answer all of the items about low mass stars in the first column and high mass stars in the second column. You can check columns, check boxes in both of the columns as they apply. The next type of question that you will see are drag and drop questions, where you read the information that's given and then you select one of the choices. In this case, you'll be selecting a model of molecules, and you would click on it and drag it to the blank space. The next type of question that you will see are going to be where you need to select words or values from a drop-down selection. So for the example here, you would click on the box and then pick the answers that correspond with the question. And finally, you will see short answer questions, where you will read the passage and then you will need to write your answer in the box provided. Normally, these questions will be a short paragraph or at least a couple of sentences to directly answer the question in front of you. So all of those example question types are examples of discrete items that you'll find on a test. There will be about 30 of these questions. In addition to that, you will have three performance tasks. One performance task will be on life science, one will be on earth and space science, and the final one will be on physical science that will include physics and chemistry. These performance tasks are going to give you a scenario, and you're going to need to answer multiple questions about this task. So, for example, this one you will answer 6 questions about breeding California rabbits. This is about genetics here. So, you will see all of the types of questions that we talked about prior to this. In these performance tasks. So you may see drop down questions, you may see multiple choice. Once you hit next, you'll see that they're going to give more information about the same scenario, more data tables and graphs, and then other types of questions. This one, they want you to check multiple boxes. This one is going to be a drop down. And then finally, the last 2 questions in this performance task, one is going to be a multiple choice, and finally a short answer where you need to write in your answer here. So hopefully that gives you a good picture of the types of questions you're going to see on the cast. And finally, how are your written answers graded? So you will be given a 0, 1, or a 2, depending on the information that you put in your answer. The rest of the questions on the test, the types that we've been talking about, will be graded by the computer, but these will be graded in a rubric style. You will find that when you learn how to do claim evidence and reasoning, writing and science, that is exactly what they are going to be looking for here. One is if you give a correct answer, but it doesn't give evidence from the information, whereas a 2, your answer will be correct and you will use scientific evidence and reasoning in your answer. So in our next video, we'll talk about where we can find ways to practice and give you some examples of taking the test itself. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to great successes on this test.